Alex Hayden here, welcoming you to the Paperclip Martinsville Speedway. This place is known for the bump and run and flaring tempers. A perfect combination for cutting our 8 drivers down to just 4. Those 4 will then go on and fight for the championship. We've seen some incredible battles here in the past, and I don't think tonight will disappoint. Let's go trackside. Cars are ready to roll, the drivers are ready to get after it. So let's go racing at Martinsville.
The moment we have been waiting for over a week is finally here. It is the elimination race on NASCAR 21 Ignition at the Martinsville Speedway, the penultimate race at that, as it is the elimination race for the round of 8 of the playoffs. 2 drivers have already locked their way into the championship 4, and being Joey Logano at Texas and Kyle Busch at Kansas, who will be the final 2 drivers to lock in a spot today. 1 possibly off a win, at least 1 on points, and 4 drivers will go home and their championship hopes will be thrashed late in the season. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into tonight's full race live stream, live realistic commentary. This is going to be a very interesting one. 500 laps around the paperclip that is the Martinsville Speedway. And it is time to get this race underway. Ryan Blaney, our driver for this season, qualified in the 22nd place position. He comes in just 2 points below the cutoff line to William Byron. We'll check out the point standings as well as the starting lineup for today's race right now. And speaking of William Byron, who comes in last driver above the cutoff line, only 2 points to the good. He is on the pole today. So Blaney's got his work cut out for him because stage points are definitely going to matter in today's race, especially for those drivers very close to the cutoff line. William Byron, Chase Elliott lock out at HMS front row. Elliott is eliminated from the playoffs in the round of 12, but still trying to go for his 4th win of the season today. 3rd win of the season today, excuse me. Martin Truex Jr. Ryan Newman will line up in row number 2. Truex has been very good here in the past, but he also has been eliminated from the playoffs so far, so he is just basically looking to, actually, hang on. Let me take one quick second. I have to pull the point standings back up on my end over here. Truex is not eliminated from the playoffs, but he is the last driver of the 8 that still remain. 42 points below, likely in a must-win situation today, but not mathematically in a must-win situation, at least to start the race. In row number 3, it'll be Joey Logano and Denny Hamlin. Joey Logano in the 22 car comes in, already locked into the championship 4. Just race for fun, I guess, here today, maybe helping his teammates of Keselowski and Blaney make it into the championship 4. Both of those 2 come in below the cutoff line, and Denny Hamlin also was eliminated in the round of 12. Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch will be in row number 4. Both are in this round. Kyle Busch already locked into the championship 4 as mentioned, and Keselowski sits 30 points below the cutoff line, similar to Martin Truex Jr., where mathematically he doesn't have to win the race. It's not necessarily must win, but the chances of him pointing his way in are very unlikely unless something very catastrophic happens to the drivers above him in points today. And then rounding out the top 10 will be Tyler Reddick and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Reddick eliminated in the round of 16, and Stenhouse failed to make it to the 16-man playoff field. The drivers starting outside the top 10 that are still in the playoffs right now would include Kevin Harvick starting in 11th. He has only 14 points to the good, and he has the highest on points so far of the 6 that are not locked into the championship 4. Drivers behind him would include, all the way back to outside the top 20, we will find our driver Ryan Blaney starting in the 22nd place position. Kyle Larson comes in 22 points below the cutoff line. He is in the 23rd starting spot today. Larson not very good at Martinsville in his career, so he's definitely got his work cut out for him, but we know HMS is usually pretty fast at this racetrack, and we'll see if that will bode well for him. And that is it of all the playoff drivers. So a lot of them starting at the front of the field, only 2 of them outside the top 11. We're going to get today's race going. Isaiah and Altfer for Express, Billy Carjoy, Yeti Cup Series, Patrick Shadley. Let's see here. Dark Crypto and others. Billy Kramer, welcome into the stream. This is going to be interesting. If I DNF at 50 laps, what would I do? Well, I'm not going to DNF at 50 laps. We are going to try to get this thing to the finish, but it is a go hard for all 500 laps today and just hope that you can make it to the finish with a shot to make it to the Championship 4. I have not won a championship on NASCAR 21 Ignition coming into this game today, or into this race, I should say, today. So the hopes is that today will be the first. Mid-pack is not going to be the greatest starting position for Ryan Blaney, but we'll see what will happen. Green flag is in the air. We're underway at Martinsville. Big dive down to the bottom. Already hooking Cole Custer, and he has flipped at Martinsville on lap 1. Oh my goodness. I did not think that that was going to happen. Who flips at Martinsville like that? What just happened? I'm so confused. Oh! Okay, we're restarting this race. Hang on. We're restarting this. I did not have control of my car there. This is a train wreck. What is going on? Cole Custer just flipped. I need to go back and look at that. Real quick. You guys aren't going to be able to see it on screen. But how the heck did he flip? What the heck? Cole Custer's flipped at Martinsville. I'm going back to look at it. He was like stopped. His car was almost stopped before it actually toppled over. I can't even talk. I'm befuddled. My mind's befuddled. He hit the curb with the front tires and just toppled him right over. It looked like if you had a group of a couple people trying to tip over like a smart car on the side of the street. That's what it looked like. I mean, it was basically a parked vehicle when he flipped. I'm restarting. I didn't have control of my car in that restart right in the middle of the corner when I hooked Austin Dillon too. So we'll. I know I said I don't restart it for the playoffs, but I think under these circumstances of how this thing has gone, very unrealistically, in the first lap. Oh jeez, this game is still broken. This game is never going to be fixed. I've accepted that for a long time already. Well, let's try not to have anybody flip lap 1, turn 1 this time. Green flag is in the air. The restart of the race. And already Blaney into the back of Tyler Reddick going into turn 1. There's just a massive checkup going into the first turn. Same thing that happened on the initial start as well. And Blaney actually lost 2 positions because of it. Now he gets a bump from behind from the 53 of Joey Gase. He's just trying to get down into the bottom lane. Lap 1 complete. 2x2 is most of the field. Blaney kind of all by himself right now. Quinn Houff, Joey Gase starting to hold up the cars further back behind. Alex Bowman going 3 wide to the inside in turns 3 and 4. Austin Dillon, Cole Custer above him. Might have been a little bit of contact in there, I'm sure. Blaney knows he's got to go hard. The driver he's trying to catch on points started on the pole, and the other driver started 11th. Chances of them getting stage points in just the first 130 laps, as all stage 1 is, very likely. Get out the body bag. Put him in a body bag. Blaney outbraking Kyle Larson down on the inside of the racetrack. He'll make a pass there. 3 wide now underneath Austin Dillon and Eric Jones. Gonna outbrake both of them as well as the 41 of Custer. And Blaney's inside the top 20 already as he'll clear Custer off turn 4. Worth noting that Ryan Blaney was fastest in practice but qualified 22nd. And I don't know why exactly he had 2 laps to set his quick time. Didn't make a mistake, really. But he was fastest in practice, so I think the long run speed is where the 12th car is going to be at his best. A lot of cars slipping and sliding already. Warmer temperatures for this race, despite the overcast skies. Despite the fact that this race usually takes place in October. Contact. Between Blaney and Busher. I'm trying to hold back a sneeze right now. You guys are wondering what I'm doing with my face. Kyle Busch struggling. 16th place position. Trying to pull a block on Blaney, middle of the front stretch. Then he gets down underneath him, though. Busch really struggling with the grip in his car. He is way wide. Blaney had a bit of a power slide down on the curb himself. Alex Bowman's really taken off in the early going of this race. Of course, he won this race in real life last year. Also, as the driver who was eliminated from the playoffs at the time of him winning. Blaney finally gets around Busch for 16th. But Bowman actually qualified in the row behind Blaney, and he's already up to 14th. Single file line through most of the top 10 right now. Blaney's really good on braking. But by driving it in as deep as he is, he can't quite get the corner exit speed that the cars in front of him are getting. Blaney going to try to get to the outside of Ricky Stenhouse Jr. It's going to be interesting if he can make a pass up there. Not going to work. Trying to dive back in line behind him now in the front straightaway. 10 laps complete at Martinsville. Out of 500. Long ways to go, obviously. Stenhouse struggles, got a little loose off of turn 2. Blaney underneath him, side by side into 3 and 4. Blaney down low on the curbing. Stenhouse up high, gets the drive off and stays in front of the 12. Now that we've gotten a few laps after the restart, it's a little harder to make passes. Blaney trying the top, he's trying the bottom. A little undercut move that time. Really widen his arc out, trying to get the drive off to get around Stenhouse that way. The 48 slides going into corner entry. Looked like he might have locked up the front tires. Blaney still clears Stenhouse finally with a pass for 15th. Ryan Newman, who qualified 4th, is already back to 12th. Quite a big gap between 11th and 12th place right now. It looks like Logano is potentially in 11th. Blaney to the outside of Bowman in 3 and 4. Bowman is all over the place with the rear of that race car, both on entry and exit of the corner. A lot of drivers are slipping and sliding. 750 horsepower package as well. No more 550 horsepower package races after that the most recent race at Kansas. Here in the Championship 4 race at Phoenix, both with the 750 package. This is Champion difficulty. I will have it on Expert difficulty at Phoenix if I do make the Championship 4. And if I don't, this will be the final race on the channel for NASCAR 21 Ignition. So we'll see if we can get one more ride out of it. See if Ryan Blaney can make up that 2-point deficit today. Got a car capable of winning if he could get track position, but obviously poor qualifying effort definitely didn't help. Larson's up to 17th. Qualified just one spot behind Blaney in the very beginning of the race. Blaney finally gets to the inside of the 48 of Bowman. Bowman crowds Blaney in the middle of the corner, and that keeps Blaney from clearing the 48. In fact, the 48 cleared the 12. Blaney with another shot down to the inside. Actually downshifts into the corner, and Bowman runs right into him. Blaney with the pass. That actually costed Bowman. He made contact with the 12. Kind of moved himself up out of the way as he was already in the outside line when he squeezed the 12 car. Daniel Suarez, next car right in front of the 12. Blaney drives underneath him. Lap traffic now for the leaders, it looks like, up ahead as well. And Blaney's going to outbrake Suarez and actually clear him on corner entry that time. Allows him to hit at his marks in the middle of the corner, trying to get a run potentially on Ryan Newman for a spot. Man, ran right into the back of Newman's right rear. Getting into the braking zone in turn 1, and that moves Newman up on the line and Blaney up to P12. One of only a couple times he's made contact in the first 20 laps. Christopher Bell, next driver for position up ahead, is just getting by the 62 car of Gone. Want to try not to make too much contact with the cars around you because there is still a risk of blowing a tire. Complex damage is on, and on a track like Martinsville in this game, all it takes is one little hit into the wall and that can blow a tire. You definitely want to be careful, especially if you're on the outside of a car. Really hope you just don't get ran up into the wall. Like Blaney is testing the outside, but he's not committed to it when he's trying to make these passes. Quickly down around the bottom to get around the 62 of Gone. And he's also hoping that the lap traffic is definitely going to help if he can get through it better than everybody else who's in the top 10 right now. Bell going to use the lap car as a pick to get by Matt DiBenedetto for 10th. Blaine did the inside of Matty D. will bounce off the curb by the 12 car. He's going to be able to clear David Reagan at least in the corner. Trying to outbrake to Benedetto again into turns 1 and 2. Does seem like Blaney's a little better in 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. Can't quite clear the 21 that time. Bell checked up in line behind the 38 of Anthony Alfredo. Tyler Reddick for position just in front of the 38 car. Bell trying to protect both the inside and the outside right now. And he'll go to the outside, and that's going to open up the bottom for Blaney. Clears to Benedetto for position. Barely kept it off the back of the 38 car, but Bell trying to maybe get to the outside so he can get around Alfredo that way. Not really working right now. Kevin Harvick's already well inside the top 10. Blaney goes to the outside, and Alfredo moved up. Benedetto almost got underneath him. Did for a brief moment, couldn't hang on to it. Now Blaney finally gets down to the bottom. And he'll be able to clear the 38 car off of turn 4. You're going to be seeing smoke out of the car throughout the course of today's race. It's just a glitch with this game. Whenever you're under 100 miles an hour, which obviously you're going to see a lot at Martinsville. So it is not any mechanical issue. It's not locking the tires up or spinning the tires, getting back into the throttle. Won't have to worry about it. Jerry Fastnow, welcome to the stream. Contact with Bell. All over turns 1 and 2. Bell to the outside of Mills. That was an aggressive move to the outside. Blaney tried to downshift that time. Bell runs the 55 of Mills up. Mills gets loose. Bell clears him. That was a great job by Blaney backing up the corner by downshifting, getting a better drive off, and that's going to allow him to drive past Bell in the back straightaway. That's why he entered so high, too. Very unique moment where he was actually able to pull that move off, and to quickly think of a move like that as well was very impressive. Then having it pay off as well as it did, as quickly as it did. Let's run another lap car on the outside. That would have been Justin Haley in the 77. Drives to the bottom under Joey Gase in the 53. And all clear. Blaney drives it in really deep into the corners. That's when he's downshifting, though, too, trying to get the car to stick a little bit better. Especially as the tires get older, it's going to be really, really hard to keep the grip in the car. You don't want to completely blow the corner and end up in that wall. A blown tire here in an unscheduled pit stop is going to cost you more than one lap. And in a situation that Blaney's in, it's likely going to cost you a chance at the championship. Cody Ware not in 11th, no. He's a lap down. Christopher Bell's in 11th. Sorry if I'm sniffling into the mic a little bit. I apologize for that. Hopefully you guys don't hear it too much. A little bit stuffy. Yeah, so Harvick's in 7th currently. Ryan Blaney has closed in on Tyler Reddick. Really wide entry that time for Blaney. About as wide as he could go. It's going to give him the corner exit speed to get underneath the 8, but he had to lift to keep it off him. He's trying to race him straight up. Down to the inside into turn 3. Power braking that time by the 12. And has to duck back in line behind him. Definitely tell the 12 car's a little bit better in turns 1 and 2 than 3 and 4. Trying to outbrake Reddick again. Drive off. Got to go to Blaney off turn 2, and he clears Reddick for 9th. Where is William Byron? That is who Ryan Blaney has to beat. I wouldn't doubt that Byron's in the lead, fortunately. If Blaney just beats him by one position every single stage, he will make it to the championship 4. As long as we don't get another new winner below the cutoff line, that is. Which also isn't impossible. We know Truex qualified 3rd. And this is one of his better racetracks. Brad Keselowski's in the 6th place position, also below the cutoff line. Harvick outbraking Keselowski down to the bottom, trying to make a pass for 6th. Contact between Kurt Busch and Ryan Blaney. Blaney moved down the middle of the corner, didn't realize Kurt was there. And that stalled out the 12 car, and now Kurt runs into the side of Blaney. Again, Blaney runs into the side of Kurt Busch, saying, hey, give me a little bit more room next time. And that didn't really work, and now Reddick to the inside, and Blaney stuck up high, and he's getting pushed around right now. Train of lap cars right in front of all these leaders. Blaney's not getting a lot of room up on this outside lane again, as he's continuously stuck there. Way too wide that time for the 12. Almost contact between Reddick and Busch. Reddick had the lift, and Blaney was able to get right back towards his outside. He's going to try to downshift in the middle of the corner this time, and he does get around Reddick at least. Defensive line on Reddick to try to get back down to the inside. Trying to power brake to Kurt Busch. Oh, he turns the 1 car. Caution's out for the first time today. And you hope that that doesn't happen, because that could potentially trap Blaney a lap down, and because he brought out the caution, he's going to have to go to the tail of the field. And he can't pit for fuel or tires. Simple spin. That's going to be the first caution of the race. Brunt's Cookie, welcome to the stream. What do I think of the game? I think it's absolute garbage. Putting it bluntly. So Blaney's going to be lining up back in the 27th place position. Green flag back in the air. He shouldn't be a lap down, but we'll hope for the best. And Blaney's got some work cut out for him. Still a long time yet to go in stage 1. We got a massive checkup going into turn 1 that time. Justin Haley. We're probably going to get another massive checkup this time. Blaney was aware of it. Where do you go if you're the 12 car here? Really don't have anywhere to go. Cody Ware with a power move. Justin Haley not giving Ryan Blaney any room. Blaney was already down on the curbing. And outbreak Cody Ware that time into turns 3 and 4. Needed to. He was 3 wide. And Almirola's in 36th. Meanwhile, his teammate's 3rd in points. Battling for a championship. Just like real life, Kevin Harvick carrying SHR on his back. Blaney knows he's faster than these cars at the back of the field, but he drove up to as high as 8th place for that caution when he turned Kurt Busch battling for 8th. Chastain running into the side of the 12. What is Chip Ganassi Racing's problem with Ryan Blaney today? Chastain in 24, some reason has an issue with the 12. What happened to my 8 wide racing? This track is not quite wide enough for that. At 33 people watching right now, only 15 likes. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. Live race commentary for the real races on the race weekend, the video game races during the week. I'll be doing live commentary of this weekend's NASCAR Cup Series race at Richmond. Our coverage begins at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time with our pre-race. And obviously tonight you're watching the Xfinity 500 at Martinsville on NASCAR 21 Ignition live on KRC. Very early going. We've had 1 caution. Simple spin by Kurt Busch off the front bumper of Ryan Blaney earlier. Blaney going for it. 3 wide. Thought about it, and then he just checked up right on corner entry a little bit more than he probably needed to, but he didn't want to make contact and risk spinning another car. Just gets to the inside of Suarez. He's moving back up through the field pretty well, but he was struggling a bit in lap traffic. Power move to get by Suarez, but Suarez is going to try the crossover down to the inside. Lenny gets a good drive off. He'll go down and try to block the 99 car into turn 1. And does successfully. Don't worry, Dark Crypto, only a couple more virtual races and that won't be the case anymore. Kurt Busch is falling back to 14th after that spin and the restart. Sure, that probably wore his tires out quite a bit. Lenny outbreaks Austin Dillon. Kyle Larson up to 13th. He's 22 points below the cutoff line, but all the guys he's trying to catch are already in, so it's likely putting Larson in a must-win situation. Lenny on the outside of Bell hangs with them through turns 1 and 2. Lenny almost crowded right into Bell. Scraped the wall. For the first time today, did not blow a tire. It's the first time Blaney's gotten into the wall in 58 laps. What a crossover move on Christopher Bell. That was beautiful. Cleared him right off the exit of turn 2, now gets to the outside of Busch. But that leaves the bottom back open for Bell. Blaney couldn't stay alongside the 1. Oh, Kurt Busch really losing rear grip. Bell runs the 12 car up the track a tad. Blaney into the back of Busch pretty hard that time. Blaney with that crossover move on Bell again. What a rocket ship off of turn 2. Gets to the outside of Kurt Busch. Busch challenging down low again. Blaney going to try to cross him over like he did with Bell through 3 and 4. Now he'll be on the bottom lane entering turn 1. On the curve, Busch runs into the side of him. Got a little rivalry between Kurt Busch and Ryan Blaney right now. More contact off the exit of turn 2, and Blaney finally outbreaks the 1 car. Blaney saying, I need to get going. You are holding me up. Jeez, hard into the back of Kyle. I think Blaney's pressing a little too hard right now. Basically used Kyle Busch as his brakes to get by Larson that time. It works for now until we DNF. Got quite a bit of damage in 63 laps already. It's by Busch cleanly through 3 and 4 this time. Well, he hasn't cleared him yet. Kyle Busch, that is. And you can see the lap traffic up ahead as Blaney's worked himself back into 12th. And about 20 laps after the restart. When he restarted 27th. Benedetto slid a bit on corner entry. Stenhouse in 10th place right now. He's hanging on after qualifying in the top 10. Blaney gets by DiBenedetto for a spot. Tyler Reddick trying to move the 62 of Brendan Gaughan out of the way, and that's keeping the 48 of Bowman stuck behind the 62 car of Gaughan currently. Blaney going to try to get to the inside of Bowman as well, and does. Oh, Bowman right into the back of Blaney. Missed time trying to pull down to the bottom. Blaney, though, underneath Stenhouse off turn 2. Should get by him. All clear in the middle of the corner. Tyler Reddick trying to get to the outside of David Reagan. He does. Blaney going to follow him. Got into Reddick just a little bit. Slides the 12 car wide in the middle of the corner. Kept him from getting around Reddick. Dives down to the inside and takes away the spot from the 8 car. For 8th place, right back to where he was prior to the caution. And we've got 63 laps to go in stage 1, so just past halfway through the first stage. Blaney getting through lap traffic a little bit better this time as he's underneath his teammate Keselowski, barely going into turns 3 and 4. Clears him with a clean pass. Blaney up to a race-high 7th place position. Derek Booth, welcome into the stream. Blaney into Cody Ware. He's at risk of turning cars every time he makes contact like that. That's how Busch went around earlier. Blaney to the inside of Kevin Harvick in the 4. Gano stuck on the outside of a couple lap cars. Blaney clears Harvick for 6th with the bump and run. Quickly underneath Quinn Houff. He's got a shot to get to Logano here for 5th. Logano's being held up mightily by lap traffic. Then a little break after Timmy Hill, it looks like. Logano going to get to the outside of Hill this time. And he's going to try to stay in front of his teammate. Oh, one car just moved up right in front of Blaney going into the corner. And that's going to give Harvick a spot. Maybe. Blaney just gets to the bottom in the middle of 3 and 4. Timmy Hill making contact with Josh Bilicki. Blaney took advantage of it. Gets by both of them as Kevin Harvick is still stuck behind him. Travis Clanton, Tower Enthusiast, welcome to the stream. I do agree with you that Dirt Bristol is the best short track on this game. Although Concrete Bristol was a fun race. With stability help on it, at least for our sake. Oh, Logano with a power slide going into turn 3. Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin side by side for 3rd up ahead as well off turn 4. Blaney to the outside of Briscoe in the 14. Logano moved up at the last second. Blaney had to check up a little extra, and that allowed Briscoe to get back in front of the 12. Blaney trying to power break into turn 3 underneath Logano. Logano's going to have the advantage on Corey LaJoie. Blaney to the bottom. Penske car split LaJoie 3 wide. A sandwich. Blaney knocks LaJoie into Logano, and that's going to allow Blaney to get him by. Logano may have got squeezed into the wall there. LaJoie back into the side of the 12. And ladies and gentlemen, we've come across our first glitch of the race. Outside of the smoke that you've seen basically every lap. Ryan Blaney is 1 lap down. He just passed Joey Logano, who's in 5th, but Blaney has scored 1 lap down because of a caution that came out earlier in the race. So now he needs to get back on the lead lap before the end of this stage. Or he's going to be trapped a lap down by the time stage 2 starts. If you didn't think there was a sense of urgency before, there's a sense of urgency now knowing William Byron is at least in the top 2. I saw the low battery. If it dies, it dies. I can just plug it back in. At least it pauses when your controller dies in this game. And Byron's in 2nd currently. Adrian K, welcome to the stream. Hamlin trying to get around lap car Eric Jones. Failed to get alongside him that time, and Chase Elliott's closing in on Hamlin. Hamlin finally to the inside, and he'll get around Jones that way, clear him off of turn 2. Chase Elliott still stuck behind the 43 car. Blaney going to go to the outside of the 9. And the 43's in the middle, 3 wide as they try to split him. Blaney gets out of the gas, trying to outmaneuver Jones at least. It's going to allow Elliott to get back in front of him. But now Blaney outbreaks Elliott into turn 1 to get down to the bottom. Martin Truex Jr. leads this race, by the way. He is below the cutoff line. In fact, the furthest below the cutoff line. And William Byron, the guy that Blaney's got to catch in points, is in second. And Blaney's a lap down despite being in sixth due to a game glitch during the first caution of the race. This is definitely the worst case scenario that could be put in play here early for Ryan Blaney. The good news is he's got a chance to get his laps back here before the end of the stage. Gotta hope any other cautions that aren't the stage cautions too, he doesn't get trapped a lap down every time that happens. Alan Williams, welcome to the stream. Byron and Truex battling right now as well. Byron needs those stage points. Stage win would go a long way. Keeping himself in front of the 12 of Blaney. Blaney closing in. He's not going to give Byron much room. He's going to be able to race him clean though as he outbreaks the 24 car. Picked him behind the 62 of Gone, and that allows Ryan Blaney to clear the second place car, but it's not for second place. Truex is stuck behind David Reagan as well. Blaney closing on the 19 car. And Ryan Blaney is back on the lead lap, using the 36 of Reagan as a pick. So Blaney has gotten his lap back. He shouldn't be a lap down in the first place, but he is, unfortunately. Robert, welcome to the stream. Yep, 8 drivers left. Second to last race of the season. No, this isn't the Championship 4. Championship 4 is the next race, if we get in, of course. And I'll update the point standings at the end of Stage 2 at the top of the screen, but I'll wait till Stage 2 to start before I update that a little later in the race. It's going to be interesting to see if the field pits during the stage break or not. I'm not sure if they will. We know Blaney's going to pit during the stage break. I mean, maybe lap traffic helps him enough that he actually still has a shot to win the stage. You would think probably not. 3 wide right now with Bubba Wallace. Daniel Suarez, he does clear Wallace getting into the corner. There was a little contact between Suarez and Wallace off of turn 2 that allowed for Blaney to make that move. Make clean passes out of it. He's actually starting to pass cars really cleanly right now as well. Mentioned he's got a good long run car. He was fastest in practice. Untimely caution definitely put him back early. We don't know exactly what the pit sequence is going to be for the rest of the field outside of Ryan Blaney. Trey's rail fan and welcome to the stream. Blaney to the outside of Houff. A little too far wide though, going into the corner, slips up the track, has to lift quite a bit to keep it off the wall. Back to the outside of Houff, we'll try it again in turn 1. Gets around Houff. Should get around Timmy Hill this time. So he outbreaks him into turns 3 and 4. Hey, I only pit when the caution comes out when they're 1 to 4 laps on fuel. Yeah, I don't know what the fuel window is at this track. This is one of only 3 tracks when I started this season that I didn't know the fuel limit because we have not actually gotten through a full fuel run at this track in this game before. So I have no clue exactly how far Ryan Blaney could go on fuel, which is kind of concerning. I would imagine that the field does not have to pit in Stage 1 or Stage 2. Stage 3, it's going to be interesting to see when to pit. It'd be risky staying out as long as you can. Kurt Busch dives it really deep down to the bottom of the track. And Brad Keselowski's really falling back right now. He's in 14th, it looks like. Austin Dillon barely kept it off the 12 of Blaney. Blaney trying to find a spot back down to the bottom and does. So he can hopefully get around Anthony Alfredo. Keselowski finally clears him. Brad K back to 15th. Blaney gets around him again. A lot of traffic way up ahead yet. Almost 100 laps in out of 500 today. I did see Bubba Wallace resign with 2311. Multi-year extension. So he'll be there at least through 2024 as of right now. And he gets around Kurt Busch. Definitely the driver he struggled to pass the most today. "31 laps to go at the line left in the first stage." 31 laps at Martinsville, not a long time though. About 3 laps a minute, roughly. 20-second lap times. Gragson go to the Cup Series next year? We talked about that a little bit last night on our live stream. Joy moving up off the top. Open hole up for Blaney. Well, that was an aggressive move to quickly hop down to the inside to get underneath the 53. He was barely clear of the 14 car. Briscoe could have turned himself. Ice the Monkey 92 Hammer. Ice Demon King 92 Hammer, welcome to the stream. I said it wrong again. Three wide into 3. Blaney, Reddick rubbing fenders all the way through the corner. 3 wide on the outside. Blaney almost gets turned. Aggressively trying to get his way through the field to try to find the top 5 so he can potentially get more stage points here before the end of the stage. He comes in 2 points below the cutoff line to William Byron, and Byron is in second place, the last we saw. And Truex is below the cutoff line and leading the race. So that means that as of right now, if Truex wins, Ryan Blaney is going to have to make up 14 points on Kevin Harvick. And Harvick's in 7th, just 1 spot behind Blaney. So he's not going to get that many more stage points than him. The way things are looking right now with 25 laps to go in the stage. Larson in the top 10, up to 8th as well. 22 points below the cutoff line is Larson. But the guys that are up at the front also plotting against him as well as Blaney. Keselowski for that matter as well. I think Brad K is the furthest back of the 8 drivers remaining in the playoffs right now. Or at least of the 6 remaining that are still fighting for 2 more spots into the championship for today. I think Kyle Busch was even outside the top 15, but he was already locked in with a win at Kansas in the last race. Blaney powering under Mills. Mills, no regard that he was there. And he gets under him into turn 1 this time. He'll make the pass there. Toxic Punk Young Boy, welcome to the stream. And he drives it in deep, just kept it off Cody Ware. You can really see Cody Ware turning right to go left in the middle of the corner, struggling with the handling of his car. Allows for Blaney to clear quickly. Trying to get back to the gas at a good spot to get by Timmy Hill as well. A little more clean air in front of Hill. Blaney clear on the back straightaway, just before the braking zone into 3. Blaney overcooks the corner though, goes a bit wider than what he wanted to. 20 to go, stage 1. Blaney into the wall. Didn't blow a tire, luckily. Second time he's hit the wall today. First time in the middle of the corner, though. These tires are old, and he's been pushing hard for a large majority of the race on these tires. We'll get fresh ones at the end of the stage. The stage break will be the second caution of the day as well. First caution was Kurt Busch spinning. That was way back at lap 40, about lap 40 really, 39, 40. Not sure where Bubba Wallace, it looks like he's in 20th right now. See him actually just up ahead. Good timing for you to ask that. There's Harvick. Would be the first car lap down. No free pass given in this game, though. Might be locked out of a top 6 spot, at least by the way things are looking early. Lady almost got hooked by the 52 car of Josh Bilicki. Harvick sliding going into turns 3 and 4. Blaney into the wall off turn 4. And into Newman as well. Massive crossover by the 12. $14 to go at the line. Pressure really starts to amplify towards the end of the stages like we are at right now. Just imagine what it's going to be like at the end of the race in a situation like this. Blaney in 6th. By Harvick, who's a lap down at 7th. Quite a few more lap cars yet in front of the 12. Haven't noticed anybody in the top 5 up there yet. Logano, actually, Hamlin I do see at the very back. So Hamlin is in 5th. Logano 4th. Chase Elliott, Byron, and Truex are the other drivers in the top 5. Not sure exactly where they're at. So Blaney can at least see Logano and Hamlin. That's a couple more points, though. And Hamlin is stuck behind a couple side-by-side lap cars of his teammate Kyle Busch as well as David Reagan. Finally gets underneath Reagan as he has to follow Busch on the inside to get by. 11 laps to go, stage 1. Major points Ryan Blaney needs to get here. Gets by Reagan quickly through 1 and 2. And he's got such a fast long-run car. And Truex has actually fallen out of the lead, and he's in 4th. That means Logano's in 3rd. Blaney on the inside of Denny Hamlin right now for 5th. That's a pass for position. That means Chase Elliott, William Byron are 1-2, and I think I see Elliott leading the 24 of Byron. Blaney underneath Briscoe. 9 laps to go, stage 1. That time by Blaney trying to make up a lap after the restart. Top 5 all within a couple seconds and a large amount of lap traffic just up ahead. Truex got a little loose off turn 4. Tried to block Blaney. Blaney to the inside. Outbreaks him into turn 1. And now it's 2 Hendrick Chevys versus 2 Penske Fords running behind him. Logano locked into the next round. Will he give Blaney a free pass? Allow Blaney to get around him. Not really. Blaney's got to cross him over to the inside off turn 4. Downshifting into the corner, trying to really break very late into the corner to get by William Byron, and just squeezes up in front of him for 2nd off turn 2. Now to the outside of Elliott for the lead. Coming to 6 laps to go, stage 1, but he gave up the bottom and William Byron's underneath him. Blaney just kept it off the wall that time. Battle for the stage win. Eric Jones trying to chop off Chase Elliott, just did. Still side by side for the lead off turn 2. Blaney up the middle trying to outbreak Jones and Elliott, and he does. What a move by Ryan Blaney to take the lead off of turn 4. 5 to go, stage 1. One car on pit road. Looks like it may be Joey Logano. Well, we see more cars pit. Pit lane is not closed right now. Oh, contact. Blaney up into the wall. Elliott trying to move the 12 out of the way. Logano pulls up right into the side of Austin Dillon coming out of the pits. Blaney gets by the 22. Is that going to split apart the 9 and the 12 right now? Haven't seen anybody. Oh, Denny Hamlin's in the pits now. They're going to have enough fuel to the end of the stage. I didn't think that was going to be a problem. 2.5 laps to go yet. That might randomize the running order a little bit as well. Down on Hamlin, we're both on the lead lap. Now they're both 2 laps down. Byron's into the pits. Can Ryan Blaney make it? You better hope he does. Final lap, stage 1. Can Blaney make it on fuel in the stage? Everybody else who was on the lead lap is already pitted except for the 12 car. Still got power as they enter turns 3 and 4. Squeezed by the 77. All the way through the corner, Ryan Blaney will win stage 1 at Martinsville. Clutch. That was clutch. Kyle Larson finishes P2. Came in 22 points below the cutoff line. That's massive for him. Alex Bowman finishes in 3rd. Matt DiBenedetto 4th. Chase Elliott rounds out the top 5. Martin Truex Jr. 6th. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 7th. William Byron fell back to 8th. Christopher Bell 9th. Tyler Reddick rounds out the top 10. Man, what happened to Harvick 24th? Must have had a slow stop. So Harvick well outside the top 10. He's outside the top 20 now. Obviously didn't get any stage points. Byron gets 3 points to Blaney's 10. So as of right now, that is going to put Ryan Blaney 5 points to the good on William Byron when we start stage 2. And I'll take a picture of this real quick, and then we'll get the pit stops underway. All right, on to stage 2. Not even going to worry about repairing damage. No adjustments. 4 tires and fuel will be the call for Ryan Blaney. Alright. Sorry I had to get up for a second. Okay. Austin Casoli, welcome to the stream. Thanks for anybody new that might have tuned in here over the last closing laps there of stage 1 that I might not have called out yet. But let's get stage 2 underway. Green flag back in the air. Oh, we got cars diving onto pit road before they even take the green flag. Blaney is the leader. Tail end of the field right now. Just can randomize the order a little bit more again. We've got more cars pitting. It is a train wreck getting into turn 3 right now, and Blaney's just taking it easy. I don't think anybody pitted during the stage break. Obviously, some pitted before the stage break, but they lost a couple laps in doing that. Oh man, Blaney just shot-putted Reddick right into turn 3. Got a madhouse going on right now. He's just got to hope the cars around him aren't going to try to pit. He's prepared for it. Might want to be careful being on the bottom entering turn 3. With that being said, it's definitely going to randomize the running order up quite a bit as well. Bowman pulling out of the pits. Right in line behind the 5. Oh, we got one car topple over on his lid. Eric Jones, no caution. Eric Jones is flipped at Martinsville. He was up on his side at the front of the pit road entrance, and there was a traffic jam, but no yellow. I don't like how the crew chief's telling us to pit every lap, every 20 seconds. I wonder if Jones is DNF'd after that. Larson back to 5th, Byron up to P4. Blaney in the wall. And he's got to be careful. Doesn't want to blow a tire in this situation. Have to make an unscheduled stop. So he made 130 laps back at stage 1, but that was without a caution. Or that was with one caution. And he keeps getting in the wall. He better be careful. He will blow a tire sometime soon. I would have thought everybody would have pitted already. I feel like I'm seeing a bunch of cars pit every lap. Court LaJoy pulling out of the pits right in front of, it looked like Almirola up there. Actually, that was Chastain. That was just Chastain being Chastain. David Reagan pulls right up into the side of the 10 of Almirola. Newman checked up. I like how when cars pull out of the pits at every track in this game, middle of the back straightaway, they go from the apron to the wall, like initially, whether there's a car there or not, or there's traffic around. It's like their spotters like to the wall, to the wall, to the wall. There's like somebody there, and they just hook them. I've seen that happen a bunch. Probably where there is a lot of cautions in the middle of green flag pit stops in this game for that reason. None this time around. Good for the 12. Less cautions and restarts, the better for him. Spotter lay off the espresso. Looking to get underneath the 10 of Almirola. Yeah, that was actually going to be a really good battle to the end of stage 1. I mean, it was overall. It was kind of anticlimactic those last 3 laps because everybody else pitted. That puts Blaney 1 lap ahead of everyone. Including Byron, who is, of course, on the lead lap up here. Well, not on the lead lap. He's a lap down, but he's in the top 5. In 4th. at least one down, if not two. There's no way of telling. And we're not going to know if Blaney wins this stage until we get to the end of the race. Contact with Chastain. Thought the 42 was going to give him a little more room that time and didn't. Ric Flair, woo. A lot of women, woo. Jet flying, woo. Welcome to the stream. Love that name. Gustavo Sabrian, welcome to the stream as well. I do like this advanced auto parts scheme as well. This is probably one of my favorite schemes Blaney's ran in the last few years. I like the midnight one a little better, the black and gold. But this one's really good too. Stephen Burdo, welcome to the stream. Like gold the best, but this scheme's still good. Yeah, exactly. Agree with you 100% too, T. Oh, man. My allergies are getting to me. We've got a long ways to go yet. Now is not the time for that stuff to start kicking in. Austin, welcome into the stream. Blaney and Kurt Busch side by side into turn one. Blaney got to get around Cole Custer. It looks like they're 1 and 2 as well as Kurt Busch. So if all those cars pitted before the end of stage 1, you would think they're going to pit before the end of stage 2 as well. I think I'd give Blaney at least another lap on him, if not 2 more. Blaney will take this, though. No win is easy in this game. We know that. If I can win 500 laps at Martinsville coming in below the cutoff line, under any circumstance, I will take it. And Blaney still has to last, too. He's got to not DNF for over 300 more laps. Almost 350 more laps from where we're at right now. He needs to not blow a tire that risks putting him a couple extra laps down. As well, on top of that, really needs to keep it clean. Try not to get too tempered. He came back to win stage 1. All circumstances that led him to that aside, he still won the stage. He got 10 points. It's in the past, time to get 10 more and then eventually go on to potentially win the race. Mark DeMars, welcome into the stream. Yeah, Bubba's best shot is definitely Daytona of the last 3 races, but I wouldn't doubt that he... I mean, I think he could run well. Richmond, the Toyotas have been fast at... Well, I mean, they were fast at Richmond earlier this year. Truex almost won that race. I think Truex is definitely one of the favorites again this week, too. Hamlin, of course, won at Richmond earlier this year. Good thing the laps go by fast without a caution. This is true. We've already been racing for over an hour. We're only 162 laps in. Definitely going to be a 3-hour plus race today. I kind of figured that going in. And you're going to put Harvick another lap down, who was in 9th. Three wide pass to the bottom. Dillon chops right into the right rear corner panel of Ryan Blaney. Blaney slides up in front of Corey LaJoie. Felipe Limo. Okay, Mello, welcome to the stream. Blaney just got knocked into the wall by Austin Dillon that time through 3 and 4, 1 and 2. Blaney keeping his cool though. Didn't blow a tire. They brake downshifted that time, getting into turns 1 and 2. Been to Daytona 3 times. That's pretty cool. Oh gosh. Just looking at the chat and ran right in the back of Austin Dillon. It's hard to time it out well at this track. Christopher Bell sideways trying to power slide his way past both Briscoe and Cody Ware in the middle of turns 3 and 4. What's the interval to second? No clue because this game sucks. I don't know. At least 1 lap. That's about all I got though. For an estimate. And he back into the gas too soon again. He's already hit the wall more times in stage 2 than what he had in stage 1. We're only 41 laps into stage 2. I'll tell you what, guys, I was feeling fine before the start of the stream, and I feel fine now. My nose is a little stuffy. It is bothering me, like really bad. And this is like one of the last tracks I want it to be bothering me at. So if I end up pausing at random moments, bear with me. I'll apologize in the forefront for it. I'm trying not to think about it, but it's really hard. So I'm trying not to like sniffle at all so it doesn't mess up the oh geez, the audio at all. You guys don't want to hear that in the mic. Jeez. Contact all over the place in stage 2 so far for Ryan Blaney. Stuck behind Timmy Hill and Christopher Bell, who have been side by side in front of him for a few laps now. Yeah, there were a lot of older drivers that ended up not using the Hans device. Pretty much a lot of the old drivers at that time that had been there and in the Cup Series and in the top level for more than a decade didn't really use it. Just because they didn't feel comfortable wearing it. I mean, it's just plain and simple as that. But sometimes it's not always about comfortability, it's about safety. And when drivers try to feel as comfortable as they can in the race cars because it's already uncomfortable as it is, but cars aren't meant to be built to be comfortable. They're meant to be built to be fast and safe, or as safe as possible. Caution is out. Caution is out in stage 2. This is our third yellow of the day. Kind of out of random. And no way to exactly tell why the caution is out, but we do have a yellow. Blaney going to restart in the lead. Green flag back in the air. Out in front of the field as he leads them into the Geico restart zone and down into turns 1 and 2. Martin Truex Jr. taking over second place from Chase Elliott on the restart. I would imagine the top 3 are not on the lead lap, but guess you never know. I'd be shocked if they are. I'd be wondering how they got their lap back. No, Blaney got around Byron quite a while before that last caution just came out. Martin Truex Jr. wins. He'll make it to the championship 4 with his teammate Kyle Busch. One car on pit road right now randomly. It looks like Justin Haley in the 77. At lap 57 in the stage. Works his way onto the racetrack. Rubs alongside William Byron in the 24. Blaney just completely missed 3 and 4. And cautions out again further back in the pack. So another yellow. Our 4th of the day. And we'll go to another restart. Green flag back in the air again. Elliott back on the outside for the restart. Truex inside row 2. We got the pace car on the racetrack. And the pace car is on pit road. My goodness. It's turning into one of these NASCAR 21 ignition races. We've had a scoring glitch. We've seen a flip at Martinsville. 2 of them. And now the pace car is on the track. Luckily, it didn't stack any of the cars up. Truex back to P2 as he gets by Elliott off the restart. That first lap or 2, he got around him. Not sure exactly what corner. Somebody has stolen the pace car. And they have gone rogue. Who would steal the pace car at Martinsville of all tracks? Wouldn't you want to steal it at like a bigger, faster track, like a Daytona or Talladega? Or even like a Michigan? New Atlanta? I mean, it'd be kind of hard to get away at a small track like this. Happened before, but at Dega, yeah, it did. It's kind of why I referenced it. Santiago Kid, welcome to the stream. We are just past halfway through stage 2. And we are almost 200 laps in. Wade Selinsky, welcome to the stream. I didn't steal a pace car. Back in the 90s. Was it in the 90s? I was thinking it was earlier than that. Maybe it was in the 90s. I was thinking it was in the 80s. Like early 80s. I mean, it would have had to have been at some point where they had flag-to-flag coverage. Live flag-to-flag coverage, which would have been any year from 79 to... I mean, probably somewhere in the 90s. See the back of the lap traffic up ahead. Blaney about 2 seconds ahead of Truex after this latest restart. We've had 4 cautions today, 1 for the stage break at the end of stage 1, 2 for incident in stage 2, and 1 for incident back in stage 1 so far. Blaney won stage 1. So he's off to a good start. Just less than 300 laps still to go. It was in 86. I thought it was in the 80s. Yeah, it might not have been the first time that pace car had been stolen. It was the first time it had been seen on live footage, at least. Opinion on going to the 500 or 400 in August? On you going, or are you asking if I'm going? I'll be at the 500 again next year. I won't be there in a couple weeks. I just live too far away to want to go for the race that isn't the Daytona 500. If I lived closer, it'd be one thing, but I have a 16-hour drive. 15 and a half to 16-hour drive. Get rid of that in the chat. All these cautions coming out might actually save drivers from pitting before the end of the stage like we saw at stage 1. We'll see. We've had one more caution than what we did back in stage 1 as it is so far, which could help. They were all pitting with about 4 or 5 laps to go is when they started to hit pit road. There's actually one car on pit road right now. It looks to be Justin Haley again. He's been pitting every so often. Contact with Cody Ware off turn 2. It's the first time we've seen one of that in the one of those in the chat in the last probably week or so. Definitely before the Michigan race on Sunday. Oh, jeez. I need to step away for a quick second again. I'm sorry, guys. I am fighting a stuffy nose right now, and this is... not the most fun I've had racing at Martinsville. Makes potentially making a mental error on the racetrack, I feel like, a lot more larger of a chance. Something bad could happen. Oh, Bubba Wallace driving it in deep. Oh man, car's checking up going into turn 1. Blaney near dodge on Ryan Newman, nearly got turned by Wallace again. Wallace got to get underneath him. Blaney's just going to let the 23 car go that time. Just to get back underneath him, it looks like in turns 1 and 2 anyway. Every day is allergy season for me. It's just some days are a lot worse than others. I sneeze every time I walk outside for the first time. It's terrible. It's whether I take my allergy medication or not. Like, I physically feel fine, it's just my nose is stuffy. It was fine all day until... It was fine even at the beginning of the stream. It just kind of started coming along the last, like, 100 laps or so. Progressively getting worse. So I'm not able to really blow it. It's an aggressive move on the curbing to get around the 52 of Balicki. 2 inside, we are 3 wide. Now we're 3 wide. And Blaney's clear on the backstretch. Am I allergic to anything? It's just like natural, like pollen, like natural allergies. I don't have like any food allergies or like that I'm aware of. I'm not like allergic to anything. It's just seasonal allergies, but it's a year-round thing for me. The winter time's usually like the safest time for me not having anything, but usually spring through fall, it's rough. Almost to the end of stage 2, though. 43 laps to go in the second stage. And I will update the point standings at the top of the screen for the start of stage 2, based off the, or for the start of stage 3, based off the first 2 stages today. So we'll know by the position exactly who has to beat who by how many spots to get in, unless they win, of course. I rarely get sick. I was sick once, like, really badly in the wintertime. I tested for COVID. I tested negative. It was really bad. It was... I'm trying to think. It was just after Christmas, like, just after the New Year. About when it happened. And I didn't go anywhere for New Year's. I mean, other than, like, work. It's like a week or 2 after New Year's. It was pretty bad. Luckily, I was fine before I went to Daytona. I tested negative. I was sick for like 3 or 4 days. Like, really bad. Like, usually, like I said, I don't get sick. It was bad. Like, I couldn't sleep at night or anything. And got done being sick, and I probably had like... I think it was like 2 to 3 weeks before I went to Daytona. It was like a week before the Clash, if I remember correctly. I think it was the weekend before, during the Rolex 24. It was that weekend. So I wasn't sick when I went to Daytona, thankfully. That is not something I would have wanted to miss out on. Give your grandparents COVID last March. Ooh, this stinks. But yeah, that was the last time I was sick. Your allergies are worse in the winter? Yeah, mine's usually when it's warmer outside. I'm trying to power through to the end of stage 2 at least. Before I step away. So I'll have to pause it anyway to get the points tallied. To the first 2 stages. At 35 laps to go in stage 2 this time by. Denny Hamlin slipping and sliding. We're about 25 laps away from the halfway mark, and it'll be time for tonight's trivia question. Once we get to lap 250 out of 500. Never mind, I'm pausing. I can't take it anymore. I'm not mentally tough enough. Let me mute the mic real quick. If I can find it. There. All right, we're good. We're good. Get the chat back up. Hopefully I don't have to do that too many more times. Oh, coming in hot. Just kept it off Denny Hamlin in turns 3 and 4. That's definitely a dangerous thing with pausing. It really knocks you out of your rhythm, especially on short tracks and road courses. It's going to take a couple laps for Blaney to get back into it again. I tried Prime before? I don't know what you mean by that. Like Amazon Prime? COVID 1 to 2 days after Christmas last year. I mean, I don't remember, but... yeah, that kind of stinks. Yeah, I haven't either, thankfully. Shocking considering how much I travel, too. Watching SmackDown right now. Blaney was working on Denny Hamlin, then just Hamlin launched himself by Suarez and Joey Gase. Blaney lost touch of the 11 car. Less than 30 laps to go at stage 2. Gonna eliminate through the different camera angles for the first time in the race today. Ryan Blaney powers around Cody Ware, 51 car. A deep dive by Blaney. He's trying to make a pass on McDowell now into turns 1 and 2. Blaney now to the inside of Hamlin. Who ended up winning that Field of Dreams game, by the way? I didn't look the score up or anything the next day. Just out of curiosity, I saw somebody say something about baseball in the chat. Mark DeMar said something about baseball in the chat, and it reminded me of that. .46 home runs for Aaron Judge. And he hops back in line behind Justin Haley. Just for Blaney to skyrocket his way into turn 1 to get by Haley again anyway. Now he's underneath the 36 car of David Reagan. Looks to outbrake him into turns 3 and 4 and does. Cubs one.
Stay left. Clear all around. Clear all around. Got one right. Clear, clear.
So Kurt Busch is happy about the Cubs winning. Yeah, he's a big Cubs fan. He was there, I guess. Had a ticket for the game. Guess while he's injured and away from NASCAR, he probably got to do something he never would have imagined he'd ever be able to do, especially at the time of the year it took place. Go back to the Far Chase cam, at least to the end of Stage 2 now. Just 18 laps to go at Stage 2 for Ryan Blaney. Things have definitely quieted down since that last restart at Stage 2. Blaney has really pulled away and again has likely got about a 1-lap lead on the field as it is. The big development though is, are we going to see pit stops before the end of the stage like we saw in the last stage? And if we do, who will pit, who will stay out? If not, will anybody pit during the stage break this time around? They didn't during stage 1, other than the 12 car. And will Blaney have enough fuel to make it to the end of this stage? He was on fumes the last time, and I would imagine he'll be on fumes again this time also.
Got one right. All right, hold your line. Clear, clear, clear. Got one right. Still there. All clear. Car right. Car right.
Blaney trying to lap Reddick in 7th another time.
All right, hold your line. Clear, clear, clear.
He at least 2 laps down for the 8 car, if not more.
Stay left.
Blaney powers into the back of the 17 of Buescher.
Car right. Clear, clear.
He's coming in a little too hot. And he made contact with Buescher. Buescher still able to get around Busch. Not battling for position. Kyle back at 18th has got to be thanking the heavens that he won at Kansas in the last race. Because otherwise he could be in danger of not even making it to the championship 4, but he's already locked in. His eyes are solely set on Phoenix. Blaney gets by Busch. A slip and slide by the 17 of Buescher. Allows Kyle to get back under the 12 as Blaney had to check up to keep from running into the back of the 17 car that time. Kyle Busch has momentum trying to get around the 12.
Clear, clear, clear. One left.
And runs the 12 car up the track a little bit.
Stay right. Stay right. All right, hold your line. Clear, clear, clear. Stay right.
Busch clears Blaney. Blaney back to the outside again on the front straightaway though. Kyle protecting the inside.
Got one left.
Don't want to clear up and give the 12 any chance for him to cross him over. And again, Busch runs the 12 up the track.
One left. One left.
There's Buescher with a wide arc.
Stay right. Low.
And just kept it off the wall up turn 4. Had to lift quite a bit. Now Denny Hamlin's underneath it. And now Hamlin
Clear, clear.
gets into Busch after Busch got knocked down the track by Blaney.
All clear.
Now Reddick's under the 12.
All right, keep it high. All clear. Got one left. Clear all around. One left. One left.
Truex and Elliott starting to close in.
One left. All clear. One left. Low. Still there.
Truex is actually the next car in line behind the 8. Blaney's struggling on this outside lane on these old tires right now. Oh, Reddick blocks the bottom. He gives Blaney the outside again. Just 7 laps to go on the stage. Again, I believe Truex is a lap down, but even if he gets his lap back before the end of the stage, that'd be big for Truex and Elliott. Especially Truex below the cutoff line. Could put Blaney in danger again. Blaney finally gets down to the bottom right in front of the 19 cars. Reddick gets by Busch in 3 and 4. 6 laps to go at stage 2. Blaney clears Kyle Busch through turns 1 and 2. Clean pass, dives underneath Reddick. Reddick to the outside of the 11 of Hamlin, though. Busch holding up his teammate now. 5 to go in the stage. Blaney with a run on Reddick. Took the high lane. Nothing doing there. Back to the bottom on the back straightaway. Desperately trying to get around these lap cars. Clears Reddick through 3 and 4. Looking for a dive on Hamlin into turn 1. Clears the 11 back. Starting to put a little bit of a gap on Truex and Elliott again. 19 and 9 came up out of nowhere. I thought Blaney was just kind of easily pulling away from everybody. And there are some cars on pit road again. 3 laps to go in the stage. Byron's in the pits from 4th. So exactly what we saw in stage number 1 is happening in stage 2. And we'll get that trivia question to you guys at the stage 2 break. Means we're very late in the stage, just crossing the halfway mark. Truex and Elliott both on pit road right now. So they're going to lose another lap. Blaney just cleared the Rick Ware car. Josh Bilicki off turn 2. Slides up in front of him clear. Final lap of stage 2, this time by Ryan Blaney, looking to sweep the stages today at Martinsville. I believe stage wins number 20 and 21 for Blaney this season. Elliott just coming out of the pits. Ryan Blaney right there. Elliott pulls up. Blaney gonna put Elliott another lap down. And the green-white checker flag in the air off turn 4. Ryan Blaney will win stage 2 at Martinsville. Another 10 points, just like he had received in stage 1. And Kyle Larson finishes 2nd in both stages today as well. Martin Truex Jr. 3rd, Chase Elliott 4th, Tyler Reddick 5th, and William Byron 6th. Joey Logano 7th, Alex Bowman 8th, Kevin Harvick 9th, and Denny Hamlin rounds out the top 10. And if you give me a moment here, I will update the point standings at the top of the screen for you guys for when we go into this final stage tonight. Alrighty. Give me a couple minutes to do this. Kevin Harvick gets 2. 2 points at this stage. Byron 5. Larson 9. Truex 8. Blaney obviously gets 10. In both stages. Larson would have had 9 in the last stage as well. Larson came in 22 points below the cutoff line, finishing 2nd at both stages. That's going to help him. I mentioned it wasn't going to be a must-win situation for him coming into the race today, but scoring all those stage points, it definitely isn't going to be a must-win situation. All right. Might have to blow my nose again here. I'm really sorry, guys. I apologize. Give me one quick second. Gotta mute the mic again. So by the way, knowing this game, anything could happen. We saw a pace car glitch earlier today. It did not spark any cautions. I'm just saying, anything could happen here. And it is not a lock for Ryan Blaney to just flat out win this race, even though he's a couple laps ahead of the field. We have seen wild things happen in this game already. Been mild today as opposed to wild when Kevin Harvick won at Michigan less than a week ago. And I will get the trivia question to you guys. I'll actually ask you the trivia question now while we're waiting on me to get these stage points tallied. So tonight's trivia question on the channel is this. Who's the last driver to win in a Chevrolet at Martinsville other than an HMS Chevrolet? So who is the last driver not driving for Hendrick Motorsports to win in Chevrolet at Martinsville in the NASCAR Cup Series? Who's the last to win in a Chevy at Martinsville that wasn't driving for Hendrick Motorsports? That is tonight's trivia question. And I will give you guys the answer to that question if you don't get it guessed correctly by the time I start the next stage, which will give you a few minutes yet. Obviously, you guys get unlimited guesses tonight, but no hits on tonight's trivia question as well. I don't have the chat up on me right now. Give me one quick second. See what some of your guesses may be. Assuming people have guessed already. I'm actually kind of surprised Kyle Larson's as far back as he is still. I guess that's because I pointed my way up and I was below the cutoff line. I didn't think about that. Well, that kind of stinks for him. Because, yeah, Harvick would be the last driver above the cutoff line on points as of right now. Alright, see what you guys have come up with for answers other than Hendrick Motorsports. Ice Demon King. Actually, it looks like Mark DeMars may have gotten it first. Yeah, Mark DeMars has gotten the answer correct first. It is Kurt Busch. Kurt Busch is the answer to tonight's trivia question. It was in 2014 with Stuart Haas Racing, back before they switched to Ford. So the answer, the last driver to win in a Chevy at Martinsville, not driving for Hendrick Motorsports, was Kurt Busch in 2014. So Mark DeMars did get it correct first. I saw somebody else get it right after him too. Who was it? It was Ice Demon King. Yeah. Well, thanks for playing. Brandon Wilson, welcome into the stream. I gotta step away again. This is ridiculous. Jeez Louise. Tough night in the office. Oh man, I am sorry. Extremely sorry. It's taking a little longer for me to update the points at the top of the screen because of it. I had to step away twice already. Okay, so once I get them up there, I'll read them off to you guys, but obviously, as I put them up, you guys will be able to see it as well. Let me double check just to make sure everything's right. And it is. Alright, so the points going into the final stage of tonight's race and going into the final stage of the round of 8 of the playoffs. Your point standings look like this. Again, Joey Logano, Kyle Busch are locked into the championship 4 based off of wins in the first 2 races of the round, with Logano winning at Texas and Kyle Busch winning at Kansas. Ryan Blaney, 10 points to the good after winning both stages today so far. So as long as he finishes within 10 positions of William Byron without a driver below the cutoff line winning, he will be in. If a driver below the cutoff line like Byron, Larson, who has had good days so far, Truex, who have all been in the top 5 pretty much all day, any one of those 3 drivers win, then Blaney has to finish within 4 positions of Kevin Harvick in order to point his way into the championship 4, if Blaney, of course, doesn't already win himself. And Kevin Harvick is 6 points to the good over William Byron, who is the first driver below the cutoff line at -6 points. Kyle Larson is 18 points behind. He came in 22 back, so he gained a little bit, but not as much as you would have thought, finishing second in both stages. That was because Blaney, who was below the cutoff line coming in, won the first 2 stages, and so that actually knocked the 24 car back further, and the 4 of Harvick has had pretty good day so far today as well as far as stage points. At least at stage 2, he scored 2 points. He was actually 24th at the end of stage 1. He didn't lose as much time that time around. Martin Truex Jr. and Brad Keselowski are in must-win situations officially. They mathematically cannot point their way in going into this final stage. So for Truex and Keselowski, they have to win to get in, no matter what, and no matter where those other 4 drivers ahead of them in points finish. So that is what we are looking at right now. All right, Oscar Ramirez Herrera, welcome to the stream. And again, thanks for anybody tuning in, and we'll get this final pit stop underway.
Pit road is closed.
No adjustments, 4 tires and fuel for Ryan Blaney in the 12. And we will hope for the best. Starting at the back of the pack, green flag in the air. Blaney will be in the lead. He's got the whole field in front of him. We're probably going to be seeing some pit stops. He's going to back way out of the gas at the start-finish line here. There's a little bit of a traffic jam into turns 1 and 2 as I would have expected. May see some potential cautions coming out. We're definitely going to be seeing some drivers hit pit road. One car just hopped up over the curb to get to pit road. It looked like Kyle Larson in the 5. I think he missed the commitment line. I don't know if the game's going to black flag him for it, though. Just over 200 laps to go for Ryan Blaney to make it to the championship 4. So far, so good today, and he's being very patient to start this final stage. Knows that everybody pretty much in front of him is going to pit. At least most of the cars in front of him will. Log jam into turn 1. Luckily, Blaney was far enough back that He had extra time to try to check up. A lot more cars diving on the pit road. We saw Eric Jones flip at the entrance of pit road. No caution came out. We did have 2 cautions for incident in the last stage. It's like 3 wide. Christopher Bell being sandwiched off turn 4 in the middle. Still sandwiched 3 wide. Middle into 1 and 2 now as he gets ran up the track by the 3 of Austin Dillon. Blaney closes in underneath the 10 of Almirola. Backs out of it. Gonna let those guys go. Stenhouse pulling into the pits. One other car in front of him pits as well. Oh, man. I am struggling. I'm trying to get through this race. And I apologize for you probably looking at my camera wondering why I'm like twitching my nose all the time. It's because I'm trying not to sneeze. And got a little bit of a stuffy nose issue going on right now. I'm fighting through it. Fighting through the conditions. My eyes are watering. What a time to be alive. 240 laps in this final stage, by the way. The first 2 were each 130. Another car up over the curb was Austin Dillon. These guys are missing the commitment line, but I don't think they're getting penalties for it. Wow, Kevin Harvick out of nowhere on the outside of Ryan Blaney. Blaney on the inside of the 4 car. And now on the inside of the 53 of Joey Gase as well. Clears Gase off turn 4. And a look to the inside of Custer in the 41 car in a 1-2. So Blaney's finally starting to pass with cars. Custer right in the back of the 12 car. I think he just missed time pulling to the bottom. 3 wide. Quinn Houff going to pull into the pits. Eric Jones up off the curb. Jones is still in this race, by the way, after flipping earlier. I don't know how, but he is. Appreciate you guys hitting the like button as well so far tonight. 33 likes on the stream. Be sure to do that and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content when I am 100%. When I'm streaming, you expect the best live race commentary that I can put out, both for the real races on the race weekend and the video game races during the week. Planning on doing a live stream at Richmond, or at least not at Richmond, but a live stream for the Richmond Cup race on Sunday right here, live on KRC. 2:30 Eastern Standard Time will be the start of our pre-race coverage. Tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, NASCAR 06, second to last race of the regular season. Who will make the chase? As we are getting into those closing races. Pretty tight battle as well. Top 10 in on points will make it. And a good fight for the regular season championship for our self-driving as Dale Jr. trying to get him his first Cup title in his NASCAR career as well. Got 2 new puppies. Awesome, man. Little rugrats running around the house, are they? It really is like raising a kid. I don't have a kid. I would imagine it's almost the same. It's probably why when kids will be like, well, I'll take care of them or whatever, and the parents are like, it's kind of a big responsibility. It is, because it's basically like raising a kid. You know that kids raising kids isn't really the greatest idea either. I got preseason NFL games going on this weekend too. Chase Elliott in third. I think Truex maybe in second, I would assume. Larson's in fifth, Byron fourth. Hendrick fans, welcome to the stream. Oh yeah, I'm a Packer fan. Go Pack, go.
Watch the light.
Caution's out for the 5th time, actually the 6th time today, and 4th for incident. So the caution flag is out at Martinsville. And we'll be going green at lap 284. Green flag back in the air. Truex in P2. Ryan Blaney in the lead. Blaney blows turn 1. Truex underneath, and Blaney gets the drive off, trying to block the 19 car down to the bottom and clear into turn 3. Blaney is likely at least 2 laps ahead of 2nd place. And caution's out back in the pack again. First lap after the restart, we get another yellow. And we'll try it again. And again, Blaney stays out. Green flag back in the air. Blaney doesn't overdrive turns 1 and 2 that time. We'll bounce off the curb. The pace car is out on the racetrack, by the way, right now. And Blaney's going to push it into the wall. And a little hit from behind by Truex as well. Blaney did not blow a tire. Thankfully. 210 laps to go at the line. Big Bengals fan. I had a great season last year. Got all the way to the Super Bowl. As long as that team can protect Joe Burrow for the long haul, I mean, they're going to have a good team as long as he's there. Chase Elliott just pit again. I thought he was one of the cars that pitted before the stage break. He's back to 8th with that stop. Obviously, he's got fresher tires on the 12, so he's going to pull away. And caution's out again. It's already our 3rd caution of stage 3. We've had more cautions for incident in this stage already than in the other 2 stages. Our 6th caution for incident now and our 8th of the race. Green flag back in the air at Martinsville. NASCAR Pepsi Cup Series Racing, welcome to the stream. 200 laps to go at the start-finish line this time by. Cautions breeding cautions all of a sudden at the start of stage 3. No pace car glitch that time. Luckily, the pace car is able to get to pit road before the field gets there. The 2 times we have seen the pace car on the track on restarts today. Once at stage 2 and once already in one of the restarts here in stage 3. And he's holding on well in the restarts, though. We know he can go 130 laps on fuel, but that might be about as far as he can push it. So Blaney's staying aware of that. Once he gets within that 130 lap to go window, it might be time to pit. Just to be safe. Or at least if there's a caution, and then try not to push it past the 130 laps prior to the yellow, even with caution laps, because it doesn't seem like you really save a whole lot of fuel under caution in this game, if any at all. When he goes a bit wider than what he really wanted to that time through turns 1 and 2. Pretty decent drive off, though. Him and Truex on relatively equal tires. Brady should retire. Well, he did retire, and then he came back after about a month. Pull to Brett Favre. Basically is what he did. When he rubs the wall off turn 2. He had a problem early in stage 2, actually hitting the wall kind of a lot in comparison to stage 1. That's only the second time he's even scraped the wall in 46 laps in Stage 3 so far. A lot of those ran under yellow, though. At least he's had clean air to work with the entire time as well. Less than 200 laps for Ryan Blaney to try to sweep the stages and win at Martinsville. He's won both stages in the race only 3 times this season, trying to make it a 4th today. And what has to be the clutchest win in Ryan Blaney's NASCAR Cup Series career. I could punch his ticket to the championship for when he came into this race 2 points below the cutoff line. Came out, he saw it, now he's trying to conquer. Yeah, I remember seeing the breaking news when Julio Jones signed with the Bucs. Or wait a minute. Oh yeah, they did. Never mind. I was thinking of something else. I don't know about guaranteed for the Super Bowl. Definitely the favorites, I'd say again. I mean, as long as Brady's there, really, I think they'll always be favorites. The ageless wonder.
All right, hold your line. Clear, clear.
Biggest drama we've really had today was at Stage 1, that battle for Ryan Blaney to win the stage, but since then it's been fairly calm for himself. Despite being a lap down all the way back in the early going of the race after a caution in Stage 1. It's at least 2 laps ahead of the field. I wouldn't doubt that the field's been trapped more laps down with these recent yellows, but with Blaney being the leader and staying out of the pits every time, he's not losing any laps. In fact, he may be gaining some with potential glitches. So he should have about a 2-lap lead on the field, but I wouldn't doubt that it's more than that. Matt Mills hooks a left, almost took out Bubba Wallace right in front of the race leader. Caution further back in the field. And this is now going to be our 9th caution of the race today and our 7th for incident. Blaney will stay out, still outside the pit window to make it to the end on fuel. And we'll set up for another restart. Green flag back in the air. Good launch for the 12 car that time off turn 4. A lot of the cars behind him have probably pit recently, though, and probably have fresher tires on the 12. And we have no clue if anybody's pitting during the cautions at all either. It's definitely possible that they could be. Blaney's just going to stay out, try to keep the clean air and track position as much as he possibly can. I don't think you can blame him for that. He knows he can go up to 130 laps. Really doesn't want to have to restart back in the pack if he can help it. Especially with all the cautions we've seen. We've seen 4 cautions per incident already in the first 64 laps of Stage 3. Jerry Fasnat, how many laps ahead is Blaney? I have no clue. There's no way of telling in this game. At least 2. The pit strategy is so weird, and potential game glitches trapped in the field, laps down during every of the 9 cautions we've seen today so far is possible as well. You know, Blaney's going to go on to win this race. He's going to go on leading probably well over 300 laps in doing so. Outbreaks BJ McLeod into turn 3, who just came out of the pit lane on the back straightaway. And we've pretty much had cars pit about every lap, really. Feels like it's every other lap or so since the start of stage 3. One Richmond 30 laps ahead. That's ridiculous. Yeah, if I win by more than 2 laps, it's all because of glitches. Really, even the 2 laps would be because of glitches, because they... Well, I guess they pitted before the end of the stage. They went as far as they could, I guess. And we were able to make it to the end of stage 1 and stage 2 without having to pit, and we know that was 130 laps. That's why we know Blaney could go at least 130. It'd be too risky to push it any lap after that, though. That's going to be his cutoff period. Unless he, of course, gets within 130 laps to go at the time of a caution, then he'll just pit then, and he knows he'll be good on fuel to the finish. There's 2 things. You want to refrain from making a pit stop under caution, restart back at traffic. But you also want to make sure keep the clean air as much as possible, and with a couple lap lead, you could maybe potentially afford to pit under green. Hope you don't get a quick yellow, though, after you cycle out of the pits, giving up a couple laps that you could have had on everybody else. That could definitely even the playing field. And potentially give a shot for Truex to win this race and get himself into the championship 4. Aaron Judge has 100 RBIs already this year. In early August. So again, the battle between Kevin Harvick and William Byron is that Byron's going to have to beat Harvick by 6 positions if Blaney goes on to win this race for that final spot to get into the championship 4. If Blaney wins, it could be potentially a chance at his first title, and everybody else in the championship 4 would be going for their 2nd or 3rd career title, depending on the driver. Byron looking for his first, who is also the first driver below the cutoff line. Larson could still point his way in as well, but he'd have to finish 18 points ahead of Kevin Harvick. 18 positions ahead of Harvick. And then he'd have to finish 12 positions ahead of Byron also. He's been good today, but the 4 and the 24 have been really good and been in the top 10 all day as well, though. So Larson's doing his part, but I don't think he's going to get the help. And the lack of playoff points for Larson that's where it's really hurting him, because remember, he is the only driver without a win that made it to the round of 8. In fact, he was the only driver without a win to make it to the round of 12 as well, as there were 13 different winners in the regular season. We haven't seen a non-playoff driver win it all so far in the playoffs, so we're still sitting at 13 different winners since that second to last race of the regular season at Michigan, where Alex Bowman finally got his first win of the year at the time. Blaney himself, despite being aggressive at times and maybe a little too aggressive at times, considering this game, considering it's 500 laps at Martinsville, he's ran a near perfect race. I mean, just winning the first 2 stages to stay out of trouble that much and stay out of trouble at this point, 339 laps in as well. Doing a stellar job. Thought Vegas was one of the races that he won, and that was probably going to be his championship defining win looking back on it on the season, but I think we might have to change that to Martinsville if he wins the title today, at least unless he has to come from insurmountable odds to win Phoenix, which isn't impossible. And that game, or that race I should say, is going to be on expert difficulty with this game. And the last time we were at Phoenix, it was a 50% race. I can't really remember who won. I don't know if Blaney won that race or not. This could be Blaney's 12th win of the year today as well. Chops down right in front of Michael McDowell in the middle of the corner. Blaney going to outbreak Busher. Clears him underneath Custer off turn 4 as well. Keselowski back to 21st. Far and away the worst playoff driver so far today of the 6 that are not locked into the championship 4. 36 likes on the stream so far. Be sure to hit that like button and again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you are new. Ryan Blaney going to power past Bubba Wallace in the 23 car. Bubba in 18th right now.
One left. Car low. Clear. Got one right.
Little undercut move on Keselowski. Going to work out. Dives underneath Chastain into turns 3 and 4 as well. Down on the bottom of the racetrack. Keselowski actually gets back to the outside of the 12. Blaney could not stay underneath the 42 that time. Gets underneath him again through 1 and 2. And this time he clears Chastain off the exit of the corner.
Stay right. Clear. Stay left. Clear. Car right.
And Suarez leaning on Blaney all the way through the corner.
Clear all around. Stay left. Clear all around. Car right.
Blaney outbreaks him. Gonna have to do the same on Corey LaJoie.
Car right.
Knowing everybody's still got to make one more stop at least to the end of the race. I mean, that tells me that I don't think the cautions are done because we've seen quite a few today, and it seems to be when cars are on pit road, likely trying to get in and exiting pit road or where the cautions are likely taking place. You know, we saw a couple wrecks because of it earlier in the day. Some of the other cautions we did not see, though. And even some of the time they wrecked and we didn't get a caution, like Eric Jones flipping earlier towards the entrance of pit road. I've seen him on the track. I still don't know exactly what position he's in, though. Kyle Busch still outside the top 15. He's side by side with Bell, likely for position, which would be for 15th place, assuming that they are on the same lap as each other. How about Quinn Houff at 20th? Impressive run for Starcom Racing at Martinsville. Last time we'll see them in a NASCAR video game on the channel. And he undercuts, gets by Kyle Busch off the exit of turn 2. I think Houff has been holding up Bell and Busch these last couple laps. Contact between Busch and Blaney. Blaney closes on Bell, looks low into turn 3. Not going to be able to get around him there. Back towards the outside. Car length and a half ahead of Busch into turn 1 yet. Blaney into the back of Bell into turn 3. Does anybody else see an antenna-looking thing on the top of my car? It's probably been there the whole race, but I'm just now realizing it. I think it's supposed to be the camera, but there's like a... It looks like there's an antenna on the top of it. Which would not be very aerodynamically dependent. It's right where the roof cam is. The things you notice after over 350 laps of racing at Martinsville. On a broken game. It looks like an antenna. Window will open for Blaney in about another 13 laps to make it upfield to the end of the race. Good thing Blaney's fast today. I'd blame the antenna for slowing us down. If that wasn't the case. And Blaney qualified 22nd, but he was fastest in practice before the stream started. That practice speed is really showcasing here in the race. I'm not the only one with an antenna, by the way. I see it on the top of Cody Ware's car when we get close to him, too. And it's on Bell. I think it's on every car. Oh, almost hooked Bell. He did. He turned Christopher Bell. Caution is out. And Blaney cannot pit for fuel or tires here. Oh, that was a little... lack of concentration. What we'll call that. Most of the field has been pitting during cautions anyway, so I don't think it's going to cost Ryan Blaney anything. You would hope not, at least. But making it to the championship 4, I'm just going to run the Neon 12, the original. The OG Blaney scheme. That would just be a mowing car, I believe. Green flag back in the air. 135 laps still to go. And that's not what Blaney wanted, because he had a lot of clean traffic ahead of Bell. And he unfortunately just turned him all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. By the way, that was caution number 10 today. Blaney's got to make a green flag pit stop sometime soon as well. This window is almost open to the end of the race. No incentive for Blaney to really push it hard here. He's going to stay out of the pits in case we get another caution. But once he gets to lap 30, he's going to make sure he pits so he doesn't risk running out of fuel. That'll be about as far as he could go. Would be to lap 130. Starting to finally try to pass some of these back marker cars. Cody Ware about to turn the 12 of Blaney, getting into 3. chopped down right on that right rear corner panel. About right hooked him.
All clear. Car right. Still there. Clear, clear. Got one right.
And Blaney will get by Reagan.
Clear all around. Car right.
126 laps to go at Martinsville. The next time by.
Clear, clear, clear.
It definitely doesn't look like it's going to come down to the wire like Bristol did.
Stay right. Clear,
When he
clear.
turns into Matt Mills now. Mills definitely took a late dive into the corner, but no rearview mirror. Blaney just kind of chopped down into him, not realizing he was there.
Three wide, 2 outside. Three wide, 2 outside.
Reddick just right into the side of the 12, and that's going to bring out caution number 11. That was not so much Blaney's fault that time, but he was still causing the yellow. Reddick just completely doored him going into the corner. Yeah, I think that fuel window's open to the end of the race for anybody that decides to pit under this caution. But again, we haven't seen the AI pit during the yellows. I don't know how many laps these guys have been getting back with those last 2 cautions coming out. Again, Blaney could not pit for fuel or tires during the actual caution itself, so he stays out. And he is in second. Blaney is no longer the leader. And it looks like Martin Truex Jr., who is below the cutoff line, leads. Big stack up going into turns 3 and 4. Down below 40 miles an hour. And he's still got in the back of a car. And I think they checked up because Michael McDowell had just pitted.
Car right. Still there.
Pit now, you can make enough fuel to the finish.
Got one right. Clear all around.
So easy to get hooked yourself and hook other cars in this game. And he's been a factor the last 2 yellows. Had 11 today. And he's now spun 3 cars in today's race total. If you remember, he spun Kurt Busch way back at stage 1 as well. Another car on pit road, and that was Truex. So Martin Truex Jr. is pitting now. Corey LaJoie runs into the side of Ryan Blaney.
Stay right. Clear, clear.
Final stop of the day for the 19 car from the lead. That gives Blaney a 1-lap lead on him again. Remember, the 12 gets back around the racetrack to lap Truex.
Stay left. All clear.
Denny Hamlin into pit.
Clear, clear, clear. Stay left. Stay left. Clear, clear.
We know everybody's going to make it on field to the finish now. Without a doubt.
Car right. Clear,
Byron
clear,
into
clear.
pit. Harvick is in 7th. Blaney will be in 2nd once he cycles back behind Truex. I don't think he'll fall back any further than that. Harvick pitting this time right in front of the 12.
You're in the middle here. 3 wide. Time you're ready. Get pit road in a few laps. 3 wide. Get 2 up top. Car right. Car right. Clear, clear. Clear, clear. 3 wide. Get
3 wide into 3.
clear, clear.
Nearly.
Clear, clear, clear.
Lap 130.
2 laps till we pit. Got 1 left.
Contact with Austin Dillon.
All right, hold your line. All right, hold your line. Clear, clear. 3 wide. Get 2 up top. Got 1 right. Clear, clear, clear. 3 wide. Get 2 up top. 2 on the outside. You're 3.
More contact with Austin Dillon. He overdrove the corner right into him. Stuffed Dillon in the wall.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left.
Blaney going to pit this time by. See that lap 131 in the stage.
Stay left. Stay left. Clear, clear.
Blaney coming in. Does not want to speed. It'll be the final stop of the day for the 12 team. It'll be his 3rd stop for fuel and tires. No adjustments. The car has been great in the handling department for the most part today. He's had great long run speed, but he's going to have to make up time on Martin Truex Jr. and they're going to need a quick pit stop on top of it. I have a feeling I think he's going to end up having damage repaired under this caution flag as well, which is not what I wanted. I would have to assume that that'll be the case at least. Yep. Kyle Larson also on pit road. This is going to make for a really slow stop for Ryan Blaney. Oh, this is just killing him. He's got enough points where if he does still finish 2nd, he'll make it in even with Truex winning. Because he would have to finish within 4 spots of Harvick, 4 spots behind Harvick, for there to go to a tiebreaker in which Harvick would likely end up having the tiebreaker. So as long as Blaney is 3 spots behind Harvick, he'll be alright if Truex wins. So 2nd place will be good enough to lock himself in on points. But for Truex, he has to win if he's going to make it into the championship 4. No ifs, ands, or buts there.
Stay left. All clear. Car right. Clear all around. Got 1 right. Clear, clear, clear.
So Truex leads Blaney 2nd. Just over 100 laps to go at Martinsville. Can Truex pull off the clutch win now? And Blaney knows he's going to lose a lap if he causes another caution today because of a spin. So that's what's happened the last couple times, which has brought Truex back into the race.
Clear all around. Stay right. Clear, clear.
Larson back to 9th, it looks like. So he's fallen outside the top 5 since the start of the stage. I'd assume Blaney's on the lead lap with Truex. But we don't even know that is 100% guaranteed. He could be a lap down. No clue with the way the cautions work in this game sometimes. No clue if we have seen the last yellow yet as well. 9 for incident, only 3 for incident in the first 2 stages combined. The other 6 cautions have already happened the first 139 laps of stage 3. It's not counting the stage break.
3 wide, get 2 up top. 3 wide, get 2 up top.
And just cleared the 2 cars he passed in a 3-wide maneuver through turns 1 and 2.
Clear all around. Clear all around. Clear all around.
Yeah, I know. It's just a lack of focus. I'm not on my best mental game right now today either. I will give myself that. Not feeling 100% necessarily, but still no excuse.
Stay left. Clear all around. Car right. Clear, clear, clear.
Maybe if it was a better game, I'd probably have my more focus on.
All clear.
That wouldn't hurt.
Car right. Clear, clear, clear. Car right. Clear, clear. Got one right.
See Chase Elliott in the 9 car up ahead. I wonder if he's still in 3rd. A couple lap cars pulling into the pits. Then he's got to go right back to what he was doing those first 300 laps. Just being patient, getting through cars.
Clear, clear.
He's got a faster car than everybody else. Again, he's in position, even if he doesn't win, to still make it to the championship 4 with where he's at. Almirola's trying to pit right now. He's not going to be able to, and he about turns the 12 car. What was that? Almirola's missed pit road now. No caution. Almirola tried to pit from the 2nd lane when the 12 was already underneath him, and he about hooked him all the way into the corner. Somehow Blaney didn't spin out. It also kept it off the inside wall. He almost got knocked onto pit road.
Still there.
Almirola's probably going to DNF now, and that costed Blaney a lot of time. Chastain. Oh, we got a wreck. Caution's out for the 12th time today. Somebody's wrecked in turns 1 and 2. And where is Truex going to be, and where is Blaney going to be on the restart? Did that caution potentially trap the 12 car lap down? And we just don't know. Green flag back in the air. 89 laps to go at Martinsville. After our 12th yellow of the race. And you wonder, where is Truex? Kurt Busch pitting. Darts down to the bottom. I wonder if Almirola's sitting where he was, even though he wasn't actually on the racetrack, if that might have caused the field to stack up into 1 and 2. Caution's out again. Another yellow. Green flag back in the air. Caution's out again. I don't know what's going on here. Oh, Kurt Busch got turned that time. I saw that one. Kurt Busch got turned. Our 14th caution. Ticking away all the green flag laps for Blaney to try and catch Truex for the win. See Truex up at the front of the field, but again, we're not sure if Blaney's a lap or 2 down with all these yellows coming out either. Good news is he's still in 2nd. And he gets around Hamlin through 3 and 4. Dive bomb move on Kevin Harvick. And it turns 1 and 2. Clears him. Back to the bottom again. He's passing the car almost once every corner. We've got more cars on pit road. Lappers at least. Lenny gets around Wallace. Quickly to the inside of LaJoy. Chase Elliott's on pit road. From 3rd.
outside. You're 3. Stay left.
Bell tried to get underneath the 53 at Gase. Blaney went 3 wide to the bottom, gets by both drivers through turns 3 and 4. One car underneath Truex into turns 1 and 2. Probably somebody on fresher tires behind him that is multiple laps down. It's Kurt Busch in the 1. In contact with McDowell off the exit of turn 2 as he'll get by McDowell in 3 and 4 on the bottom. And he trying to widen his arc off through 3 and 4. Started at the top, rolls to the bottom in the middle. Lap 430 out of 500 tonight at Martinsville on NASCAR 21 Ignition. Martin Truex Jr. over 40 points below the cutoff line, 43 to be exact, going into the final stage. Leads this race, trying to knock Harvick out of the championship 4. And Harvick needs Ryan Blaney to take the lead back, and then Harvick also has to finish within 6 positions rather, of William Byron. Even if Blaney wins. It seems like it's a race strictly between the 19 and the 12, because Elliott was in 3rd and he pitted. Unless Byron's potentially up to 3rd. And he's also below the cutoff line trying to catch Harvick. May have to win himself. Blaney to the outside of Quinn Houff. Just clears him in the middle of the corner. Clean pass on the outside. It's the last 2 cars Blaney's pass has now been on the outside. He is running down the 19 of Truex, but is this going to be a battle for the lead? More cars pitting. And he's trying to downshift into the corner. He was coming in hot. Had to get the car to slow up, and that's going to cost him quite a bit of time as he went way too wide through 3 and 4. He's at least kept the fenders on the car today. Got that going for him. We'll alternate through the different camera angles one more time in today's race. Truex catching up to lap traffic that's side by side in front of him. Kurt Busch on fresher tires, though, in front of him. Reagan get a little squirrely off turn 4. He was just trying to duck in line behind Truex. Blaney gets by Reagan pretty quickly. Closes in on the 19 car into turns 3 and 4. Big bounce off the curb. Messed up the 12's corner exit. Blaney rolls the bottom now to the inside of Truex. Into turn 3. Powers hard into the braking zone on the bottom. Still side by side with the 19 car. Not sure if it's for the lead or not right now. But we know the 19 is the leader. And that was not a pass for position. Blaney somehow is a lap down. Sends it into the corner, trying to go 3 wide around Kurt Busch. Cody Ware, who is on the outside. Now is Blaney potentially on the lead lap. And if Ryan Blaney's not on the lead lap, then he's probably still 1 lap down. And he was 2 down and just got a lap back there. Whatever the case, these cautions late have hurt Ryan Blaney. And his own cautions knocked him out of the lead, but then there was more cautions after that that trapped him even more laps down. And that happened, but luckily I could plug it back in and get right back into it like nothing happened. There we go. Ryan Blaney outbraking Justin Haley. And he drives it extraordinarily deep through 3 and 4. You can tell he still wants to win this race with how badly he's dominated. He doesn't want another one to slip away this season as he has many this year, even though he could still point his way into the championship 4. Just had a terrible first 2 races at Kansas and Texas that were nothing of his own fault to put him in this predicament today, but as of right now, he would be 4 points above Kevin Harvick. Based off of Truex leading, Blaney would be the only driver in on points as of right now. And Harvick would have to beat him by at least 4 positions to send it to a tiebreaker, which would probably be given to Harvick on the tiebreaker, considering Blaney's finished outside the top 20 in the first 2 races of the round. Blaney really wants us to stay green to the end. There's still just over 50 laps to go, but any more cautions could potentially trap him more and more laps down. And he stayed out of the pits during the caution, so it seemingly doesn't matter whether he pits or not. Heck, if he pits, maybe he goes 2 down. Who knows? That could be another reason why the AI don't pit during cautions on this track. They haven't pit during any of the yellows. They'll pit a lap after the restart. There's Eric Jones. 28th place, but still in the race after flipping way back at stage 2. Towards the beginning of the stage is when he flipped. And Kurt Busch has spun twice today, and he's still in the top 10. Once off the front bumper of Blaney, and then once after one of these late race restarts with less than 100 to go, he got clipped by somebody. I think he was trying to pit from the second lane. Ended up sliding into turn 3. I think he just missed pit road and missed those tire barrels at the front of pit road as well. Sand barrels. But it still warranted the yellow. Well, Blaney was able to come from a lap down to win stage 1. Can he do the same thing to win the race? Assuming he was only 1 lap down on the last restart. Tyler Reddick is having a good day. He's in the top 5. Currently in 5th. Oh, one car's just wrecked Matt Mills. Blaney had to go wide to make sure he was going to miss him. So he was backing up in reverse up over the curb. He continued to stay green. Then he checked up, went wide because he wasn't sure how far backwards the 55 car was going to keep backing up. No caution there. And then he said he wanted to keep it green, and, well, it stayed green through that. Briscoe now on pit road. I would have thought everybody would have made their final stop already. We know Truex is good to the end regardless. The drivers now are just all the lap cars that maybe didn't pit under green earlier and they're finally pitting now. It's way off on their own strategy for whatever reason. Oh, and BJ McLeod has flipped into turn number 3, right in front of Ryan Blaney. He's going for a ride. Still no yellow, surfing on top of another car. And finally we get the caution for it, and Blaney was caught up in it. Our 15th yellow of the day. Problems for the 12 car. Again, I couldn't tell who that was that he was just getting carried across turns 3 and 4 on. It looked like it might have been the 15 of James Davison. What a ride for BJ McLeod at Martinsville. I don't know how that happened. I think he was trying to pit and just got turned by the car he tried to turn down in front of. Green flag back in the air. Justin Haley squeezing Blaney out of the way on the restart. Train fan, welcome to the stream. 39 laps to go at Martinsville as of right now. Did Blaney potentially lose another lap being involved in that accident? He's still in second place. But in his chances to try and catch Martin Truex Jr. for the win. We just don't know if Blaney's even on the lead lap. 3 wide on the bottom through 1 and 2. Clears 2 cars. Consistently staying on that bottom lane right now. To the inside of Keselowski. 14 car Briscoe slid up a little bit. Blaney sliding on the curb as well. Blaney 3 wide, knocks the 14 into the 34. Had to imagine that would have worn Blaney's tires out even more. Over 30 people watch right now. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you have not already. 35 laps to go. Martin Truex Jr. is more than 40 points below the cutoff line in a must-win situation and needs to win if he's going to want to make it to the championship 4. Ryan Blaney trying to run him down late. No clue if that caution might have trapped Blaney another lap down that you just saw moments ago. BJ McLeod flipping at Martinsville in turns 1 and 2 and being carried by another car, basically, all the way through the corner before the caution finally came out. No way of telling if Blaney lost another lap during that yellow or not, or how many laps down he is. If he is even a lap down. We know Truex is leading. Yeah, if we get to Truex at all, we'll know. Matt Mills bumper tags the back of the 12 car, Blaney in the middle of the corner. Christopher Bell just ran right into the 12 also. Joey Logano in third. Blaney to the inside of Larson. Blaney trying to power past the 22. It doesn't look like all 3 Penske cars will make it to the championship 4, but they all 3 made it to the round of 8. Good season so far. Keselowski was in a must-win situation in the last round, won at Talladega. Contact between Hamlin and Blaney, and Hamlin almost went around that time. That would have caused Blaney to have to go to the back again. Back in the pack. I mean, he might have still been in second, but whatever chance he has to try and get Truex for the win would have been all gone. To the outside of Eric Almirola into 1 and 2. Power move. Blaney made it work. Less than 30 laps to go. Can Truex pull off the win at Martinsville to make it to the championship 4? And is Kevin Harvick enough positions right now ahead of William Byron? As of right now, he is. Byron needs to beat Harvick by 6 positions. And right now, Harvick's in 5th, Byron's in 6th. So as of right now, the way we run, it's going to be Truex and Blaney in if Truex wins. If Blaney catches Truex to win the race, then Harvick will be in over Byron on points, and Truex is in the must-win situation. So obviously, if he doesn't win, he won't make it. Regardless of the way things are going right now, Kyle Larson, despite being in the top 10, would not make it to the next round. And Keselowski, who's been outside the top 10 most of the day, would not make it into the championship 4 as well. Those would be the 4 eliminated. So that is the point situation we're looking at here with just 25 laps to go. Still no sign of Truex yet. There's a lot of lap traffic ahead. Maybe he's in it. See Harvick and Byron at the back of the pack up here at least. I think I see Truex up here. He's got about 7 or 8 cars between himself and Blaney yet. And Truex is on the bottom lane as of right now, but so is the 12. He's got a couple decently fast cars of Harvick and Byron he can follow behind. Harvick is, if he's smart, he would let Blaney go and try to get to Truex. I mean, it's not going to matter if Truex is a lap ahead of Blaney, but we don't know that for sure. Blaney on the inside of the 4 of Harvick. And he can't quite get around him that time. Looks low into turn 1. Powers his way by Harvick. Gets by Gone as well. 20 to go this time by at Martinsville. Blaney going to catch Truex, it looks like. Probably this next lap. 12 is faster on older tires. And Blaney is still not on the lead lap. My goodness. There's no way he's going to make up another lap in about 19 laps. The cautions keep trapping him a lap down every time they happen. So a caution, another restart's not going to help the 12 either. Unfortunately. Blaney's obviously the quickest car on the track right now, but I don't think it matters. He's passing cars cleanly, though. Which makes his life a little easier. There's no way in 20 full laps he's going to make up a full lap on Truex. And even if he does, we don't even know that he's on the lead lap now. Watch me be like 5 laps down somehow. A lot of lap traffic though for Truex to pass. And he gets around Suarez. Seemed like Suarez had to lift off turn 4 to keep it off the wall. Blaney got around him quickly there. 15 to go this time by. Blaney lifts to keep it off Busch. Still got into him. Blaney around the outside of Michael McDowell. Yeah, again, I'll make it in with a second place finish. Because that would have been 4 points ahead of Harvick, and Harvick's not 4 or more spots ahead of us, so second place is going to be good enough for Blaney to get in. If Harvick were to finish second, say we get a couple extra late race restarts that keep trapping me laps down, if somehow Harvick finished second, we would still be in as long as we finish 5th or better. And obviously if Harvick wins, then Truex wouldn't get in, so that'd be fine as well. As a product of Blaney driving it in deep to get by Buescher, and Buescher also turning down on Blaney simultaneously. The driver's making a mistake there. Bounce off the curb by the 12. Gets by Briscoe. 10 laps to go this time by. Overdrives turn 3. Made the late decision to go to the outside. It didn't really work. He kept it off the wall. Both on entry and exit. Gets by Reddick on the bottom through turns 1 and 2. Blaney might have thrown the win away, but at least he'll make it to the championship 4 on points the way things are looking currently. Riding the curb, trying to get around Keselowski. Coming to 8 to go in the stage. And he's still struggling to get around the deuce. Finally does. Gets by DiBenedetto through 1 and 2. Should be able to get by Quinn Houff into 3 and 4 and does. Slides a bit wide though. Houff is going to get back to the bottom using Blaney up. You can tell Blaney's going hard since this last restart to the very end, not giving up. That didn't work. Drives under the 62, late dive under the 48. Alex Bowman. Blaney clears Bowman with a clean pass off turn 2. 4 laps to go at the line. Still no sign of Martin Truex Jr. Well, he's going to turn Almirola. That's not going to help. Caution's out again. 16th caution of the race today at Martinsville. Blaney was pushing it hard. I mean, he was just trying to find a way to get to Truex, and he ended up turning his 4th car of the race. 4th time a caution's come out. Blaney just driving it in too hot into a corner and turning somebody. 2 JGRs versus 2 Penske's. That's what it's looking like. Corey Freet, welcome to the stream. Blaney's still going to restart in 2nd. No sign of exactly where Truex is at. Probably at the very front of the field, I'd imagine. Overtime restart at Martinsville. Green flag back in the air. Massive stack up going on right now at the back of the pack. Blaney's just sandwiched. Oh, they're stacking up. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go for Martin Truex Jr. Clutch win for the 19 team. Clutch day on points for Blaney. A solid points day. Winning first 2 stages and finishing 2nd. He did what he had to do to at least point his way in. Contact with DiBenedetto off turn 4. But the checkered flag is going to be waving. It'll be Martin Truex Jr. getting the win at Martinsville. Truex does it again at the paperclip. Blaney will be the only driver to point his way into the championship 4 with the 2nd place finish today. It'll be Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, Joey Logano in off of wins. Blaney finished 2 laps down? What? How did we fall that many laps back? We made him 2 laps under green flag conditions in those late yellow situations, and we still finished 2 laps down. That last caution probably put us 1 lap down, but that means when we passed Truex before that under green, before the last yellow came out, that forced overtime, that means we were still a lap down. I don't know how we fell that many laps back other than the game's glitchiness under the cautions costing us that many laps. But regardless of the fact, Blaney's still in the championship 4, finishes 2nd. Martin Truex Jr. gets the win. Joey Logano 3rd, Chase Elliott 4th, and William Byron rounds out the top 5. He beat Harvick, but not by enough points to beat Harvick, and Harvick gets knocked out with Truex getting the win. If Truex didn't win, Harvick would have made it by 5 points over Byron. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, didn't happen. Denny Hamlin finishes 7th. Kyle Larson, good run today. 2nd at both stages, 8th. Still not good enough for him to point his way in. Tyler Reddick 9th. Christopher Bell rounds out the top 10. The 4 drivers again eliminated from the round of 8. William Byron, Kevin Harvick, Kyle Larson, and Brad Keselowski. And Keselowski ended up finishing back at 20th. Not a good day for him. Kyle Busch finished 19th. And those were the only 2 drivers outside of the top 10 of those in the playoffs. And 3 and 4 laps down. Yeah, exactly. I was 3 and 4 laps down. I don't know how I lost that many laps, but needless to say, Truex wins. Blaney had the best car, Truex wins, but Blaney's still in the championship 4. I'm complaining a little bit because I should have won the race, but I still made it into the championship 4, all things considered. Probably going to have to win Phoenix to win the championship. You never know, especially with this game. Who knows? Maybe we'll all flip or something on the start, and I'll get towed away last so I win the race, or win the championship, finishing 36th. Who knows? Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys tomorrow on the channel, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. NASCAR 06 Total Team Control. NASCAR Cup Series action. Second to last race of the regular season there. Good points battle for the regular season championship. Hopefully, I know this is not this stuffy tomorrow. I very, very much apologize for that. I tried to do the best commentary I could throughout the course of it. I don't think it was that bad, but sorry if I was sniffling into the mic. I know that probably drove you guys nuts. I really apologize for that, but have a good rest of your night, and I'll see you back, and hopefully better than ever, again tomorrow.